Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling in Holiday Inn. I, of course, am Patrick Young. This guy to my left this time is playing with lights.
He looks a little awkward than usual.
Okay. He's playing with lights. He's worried about the lighting of our videos.
Well, so
Once.
so they can see our beautiful faces, because when we become professionals in January.
We won't become professionals in January.
Well, we get more professional equipment in January.
This is the part where I'm supposed to add in my joke about you, and
Yeah, no.
you took the lights and... Alright, well anyway, he's come up with a name for Alexa Bliss being called Micro Charlotte, Giovanito.
I'll get to the reason behind that a little bit later. This is the role review for the post SummerSlam edition of 2017. I give Monday, August 21st, I think. We're all how can I put this? We're all had everybody and their mother on the show tonight because apparently I just realized now how stacked Raw's roster is. And I got more stacked up with the addition of John Cena. And Brock made a surprise appearance that was kind of ruined by Barclays Center earlier in the week, but it was still a totally surprise appearance. So let's get to it. First, the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman kick off this show.
Yeah, it was the typical Heyman hype train of Brock Lesnar. That he's the beast and that he was able to conquer, this time, 3 men, and that he was able to escape with his title to much of the chagrin of the WWE officials who who Heyman says wants Brock Lesnar to lose.
And then Braun Strowman came out and laid out Brock for the second night in a row. 2 Roman Power Slams, I believe it was, and Big Boot. If you want, this I thought was one of the 3 best parts of the show.
Yes.
That was like near perfect. There's one match and 2 segments.
It starts off with Heyman talking and then Braun destroying things.
Yeah. If you want to convince fans that Lesnar's not invincible, book him to get his ass handed to him 2 nights in a row is by someone who's a believable threat to the title.
Yes.
Is the way to do that. Flo was a fantastic piece of booking and builds excitement towards, at the point we didn't know when their showdown was going to be, but it was confirmed later in the night. It'll be at the No Mercy pay-per-view on September 24th.
Which, there's a reason to get hyped for No Mercy now.
Yeah.
Officially.
Yeah. This quoting Gorilla Monster in here. This is probably the unstoppable force versus the immovable object.
It's more like the unstoppable force versus the unstoppable force heading directly at each other.
Yeah. And the local Heyman's face as Brock was manhandled sold the importance of the soul and really, I guess, conveyed to the casual audience how rare our feat is to see Brock get his ass handed to him twice in a row. Because Heyman did talk about how Lesnar got carted out the night before, stretched out the night before. Up next, Brooklyn Street Fight, Enzo Amore versus Big Cass.
Well, I'll talk about the match because there was a thing that happened that needs to be talked about as well. The match, I like that Enzo brought out different weapons. I wish he used some of those weapons, or Cass used some of those weapons that he brought out, but...
Like I put on Twitter and a picture Raven did, or...
Yeah. Yeah, he had crutches, trash can lids, like different weapons WWE doesn't use anymore.
Yeah.
For some reason. But they ended up just using the chair that was in the shopping cart anyway, so... the match, it was Enzo Amore versus Big Cass. The match wasn't good.
It's a 5-star, it's a 6-star classic in the Tokyo Dome.
If it happens in the Tokyo Dome, it would at least be 5 stars.
The match, like Pat said...
Dave Meltzer.
Right, yeah. Like Pat said, the match wasn't really going nowhere, though. Because it was your typical Big Cass versus Enzo match. Enzo won by forfeit because there was a spot in the match. Enzo won to go pull down the rope to block Big Cass's big boot. And Big Cass's knee at least buckled. On forward, like...
Yeah, he sort of kicked
What?
himself over the rope.
Yeah.
Over the rope, rolled off the apron, and then landed directly on his knee.
Yeah. I do know he left the arena on crushes, so but there'll be more of an update tomorrow on it. If he has his MRI, then I guess we'll cover that on Friday.
Yeah.
In the news, along with another injury that we just found out about today regarding Asuka.
Yes.
And news on Ric Flair's health too, which seems to be going up by the day, so that's good. But for the match, back to this match, before the unfortunate injury, though, this was every other Enzo gets his ace kick segment we've seen the last 2 months, or we have one, maybe a few in last year.
Pretty much, we hope that isn't...
Yeah, Cass's injuries aren't serious.
Not as serious.
And neither one was like a fan face guy.
Exactly. I don't want to see anybody get injured and have to take time off.
But the way he was acting, it looked like he was in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it looks like him.
He did try to continue.
Yeah, so
you have to give him credit for
yeah.
Did try to stick it out, but he couldn't. He actually tried to do an elbow drop, and his leg buckled, and then he just fell down.
Yeah.
And then after that, you could pretty much tell that this match was continuing.
Nah. Enzo was the ride doll, Cass was the aggressor, the fans were the victims.
Yeah.
Of the overkill of this feud. Up next, Emma versus Nia Jax.
Well, it actually set up. There was a promo beforehand that actually set up this match. Emma was pretty much like jaw jacking Dana, like almost Enzo style on Twitter or whatever social media. Like she should have beaten Sasha, and she could beat Nia any day she wanted to, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then Nia pops up behind her and says that after she's going to be done with her tonight, her hashtag is going to be give Emma CPR.
Which did trend.
Yeah. Yes. I actually used that. I thought it was a good line.
Nia won. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes, Nia continued to look dominant, but the story here is Emma.
And the funny thing, the guy in front of us was actually timing the match. It ended up being like a minute
6.
Yeah, a minute and 6 seconds.
Yeah. The story here is Emma, but I don't mean that as a good thing, because I don't exactly know what the end game here is with her. She's a heel who thinks she deserves a great opportunity. Does she turn babyface and did win over a monster opponent, which is not named Monster's own role minus Nia, or does she just disappear and lose it to everyone?
Yeah.
I don't know what her story is. I'm honestly not convinced.
Usually losing streak angles aren't all that successful.
No, I'm not convinced WWE officials know either where they're going with this.
I mean, the example of that that's popping in my head right now is MVP.
Oh, yeah.
He had been booked pretty good for a few years, and then around mid 2008, he started just losing repeatedly.
Right after Summer.
And that would be the storyline, and he pointed out, and it never really his career never really gained speed after that.
Yeah, I want to say it was right after SummerSlam 2008 that happened, because he beat Jeff SummerSlam 2008, but then after that he just went on a random loser streak.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know do you have any idea where they're taking this story? Do you think it's a good thing? It's a good thing as a story, but I don't know if they know where
to her being on SmackDown.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Which I'll be another news story this week. The Superstar State Cup's rumor will be on September 11th, and I think 12th.
Yes.
Both nice. Up next, R-Truth versus Elias.
I will say this: Elias is actually getting much better with his gimmick. I said that last week.
Yeah.
But this time he actually had Brooklyn going along with him, and that he was able to interact with the crowd more, and he feels a lot more comfortable with this gimmick on the main roster than he did in NXT, which is completely different than
most NXTs.
Than probably anybody else from NXT.
Right, always the opposite.
Yeah. They're actually treating this like a very different thing than it was in NXT. He didn't really have the time, or I guess the resources in NXT
to develop his character.
to get more material and develop his character a bit more. But now, for some reason, he does have that.
Yeah.
So I think he's enjoyable.
Yeah. Same here. I thought it was a strong one for him,
Yes.
but it wasn't probably a quality one because everyone beat Truth.
Yeah. It was pretty much to get Elias on the show.
Well, him and Truth had a main feud, I think, starting last week.
Yeah.
He laid out Truth before their scheduled match, so this was just to end that.
Yes.
At this point, it does feel like though he is trying more as he waits for creative to come up with something more important, substantial for him to do. I mean, the guy has ones over Dean and Finn, so it's not, he won the feud with Finn.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly like you should be just sticking it back in the low card at this point.
I would say you should go for the mid-card title, but the mid-card title is also a heel.
Right, which we're about to get to next.
Yeah.
John Cena returns to Raw.
Yes. It had been advertised. I mean, John Cena's face was front and center on the sign outside the arena, so it's not all that big of a surprise. Which is funny because this is the show after SummerSlam, and we didn't really get like a terribly big surprise.
This was supposed to be the big surprise, I think, but it wasn't advertised.
Yeah.
It was advertised way in advance.
Yeah. Cena on Raw, and he called out Roman, which is interesting because I think they sort of had me going where they were actually going to just do this at
No Mercy.
No Mercy, but they ended up getting interrupted.
Then they got interrupted. The crowd was loud for them both. Well, Shane, you both suck, but
Yeah.
they weren't.
However, the boos were stronger for Roman.
Roman, yeah. Then Miz interrupted and cut a fiery, almost pipe bomb type program about how he deserves opportunities. Cena then challenged him to a tag team match in the main event. Him and one members of the Miz Taraj against Roman and Cena, and then Samoa Joe came out and got in Roman's face saying he could beat him one day of the week. Told Miz more than likely that he's his partner, and then he just jumped Cena. And then I'm going to say my feelings on it, but was there anything else you wanted to add about the segment itself?
I really like the segment.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite parts of the show.
Miz, I was talking a little bit to him before we started filming. Miz seems to be best when he has a chip on his shoulder and is just allowed to just rip off on the mic. He cut a fantastic dialogue, I guess.
Yeah.
For himself, and he really stood out in that promo, being technically the mid-card champion in the ring with John Cena and Roman Reigns. Like, he didn't feel out of place. He felt like a main eventer.
Right.
With those two in the ring, and then Joe came in.
Yeah.
And was pretty much just very take charge and very in your face.
Yeah, so Joe. Yeah, for me, the span of one segment, Joe and Roman add to their side rivalry, I guess. Joe also teased conflict with Cena. The Miz Taraj ignited, I guess, a feud with both Cena and Roman. Then the main event of the night was set up. Any promo segment that can accomplish that without overstating his welcome is a sign of strong creative work.
You know, I'm actually going to take one step further. I think for Roman's character, his mic work has actually been really good this year.
Yeah. Because he's more like cocky.
Yeah.
And man, very few worse. Yeah. Especially since he's been taken. Especially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no more suffer and succotash, son.
Tater tots.
Tater tots.
Which I know is one of your favorites.
Yeah. And there's no more of...
Yeah.
Which means, I guess, he was going to fist Renee that night. I
no
don't
more
know.
seducing poses that used to get me excited.
Yeah. But there's a lot less, hey, I'm John Cena's clone.
Yeah. Now he's
Enjoy me.
Now he feels like he's turned back into Shield Roman.
Yeah.
Which, well, more likely a few months he's got to be.
Which is actually probably much closer to Roman.
Right.
Naturally, then.
Yeah, so like he's finally finding his character. They're finally finding his character back. But him turning to Shield Roman, I don't think is no coincidence either.
I'll actually say it's been just about this whole year. from probably a little before Mania,
Yeah.
when he was starting to feud with Taker. He would be very few words and be very cocky, and it showed a lot of attitude that he wasn't just a white meat babyface anymore.
This is probably the year that.
I don't think anyone's actually been saying that, but I've been seeing Roman.
Yeah, this is probably the year where Roman is coming into his own finally as the face of the company that he should be.
Yeah. However, I think they just had him that way so long that fans have just gotten used to booing him and just have absolute fun doing so.
And go back to Miz for a minute. The way the conviction with he spoke, I thought, is what elevated the segment.
Oh yeah.
And his tease of Cena versus Roman was probably the biggest takeaway from the whole thing.
Yeah. I think they should hold on for a long time now.
Yeah. Now I want you to pass on.
Mania.
I want you to pass up here because I'm very forgetful. Up next was the 8-man tag team match. Who was in this match? So I know the face team. Cedric Alexander, Rashwan, Graham Ali, and Mustafa Ali. I know them because I see them on regular occasions. The heel team will be Tony Nese,
Gulak,
Noah,
Davari,
and
and
Noah. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Great job, Malik, and
the big
Cedric.
story of this match has nothing to do with the in-ring action itself. The crowd decided to pull out a couple beach balls and start batting it around, and that sort of took on a life of its own.
Yeah. Cedric is still in for a scene with the lumbar check on Maine.
Yeah, and
let's go Tony's.
Yeah. Lindsay Dorado.
Graham Ali.
I'm sorry, Graham Ali. Lindsay Dorado was on
main
event
event
this week.
For the 17 people who watch main event,
yes.
I don't want to spoil over.
If you enjoy main event, good on you. I just don't have that extra hour to actually watch that. Or
well, you do when you're in my house, but who does?
Yeah, who thinks of watching
main event?
Main event normally. If so, great on you. You have more patience than I do. However, again, the big story was the crowd started batting around, and I think the more debatable thing is what WWE should do about these beach balls. We should probably leave that to later because that beach balls weren't as rampant in this match than it would be much later on.
Yeah. Honestly, the faces when Cedric got the win for his team. Like I said, honestly, why should the fans care about this match when the officials don't seem like they care?
Yeah.
Or they can't even be bothered to care about the men involved. Eight guys.
They care about it to a certain extent where, you shouldn't do that offense because that's going to take away from something that's going to happen later.
Yeah. Eight guys. Not even one of them could get an entrance on the show.
Yeah.
Listen, two of our live might feature quality and ring action on a weekly basis, but Pac was having a conversation with somebody on Twitter. K-Bolt 3000.
Yes.
That's the guy's name. And they're pretty much saying about until the characters are explored in pretty detail, pretty much, the crowds are just going to be done with silence anyway at this point. And
yeah, it's either going to be silence or if they get into front of a crowd where it's like tonight, it's the night after a major show and every big fan's in town, they're going to keep on doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and that is a shame because so many of the guys are in the prime of their career, so. But it's seeming like so thrown together, feels like a missed opportunity on the part of management there. Next, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus the Hardy Boyz.
That's my match of the night.
Yes.
Yeah, 7 came out, so they were celebrating their title win. Then they challenged anybody in the back, and then the Hardys came out.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's a dream match of mine. I want to see the Shield. I wanted to see the Shield versus the Hardys before the match started.
Yeah.
And I got to see that. It was amazing.
Yeah, Seth and Dean were. The match was excellent. Dean got the when they did their
The knee
the run,
into the dirty deed.
Seth's new knee finisher.
Yeah.
The Rainmaker knee.
Yeah. That's what I call it, Kenny Omega's knee.
Yeah, Kenny Omega's Rainmaker knee. To Jeff into the dirty deeds for the win. 7D were introduced as the faces of the division with an important win over the most over team on the roster.
Yeah.
And as a match of future Hall of Famers who, unlike the Dudley Boys, had been protected during the run.
Yeah.
So beating them means something. And I just see this on Twitter, but they didn't show it in person. Sheamus and Cesaro were watching from backstage.
Yeah.
So, it suggested that Ryder's going to continue. He says, I think it's probably a clean win here. Then, to me, it felt like it was a swan song for the Hard Boys. What they'll come to start shake up. It's probably going to be nice to see the team together for a while. But if they are standing on the same show, perhaps find a way to fit the Hardys into a feud with Dean and Seth and Cesaro and Sheamus. Creating a three-way between the last three sets of champions will be the best option, I think, while the Revival recovers.
Yeah, and it helps that the last two feuds for the Raw Tag Team titles have been excellent matches.
Yes.
So, of course, I would want to see a triple threat between all three.
Yeah. Up next, Sasha Banks' championship address.
It was a promo.
By both women.
Yeah.
Alexa and Sasha.
This feud actually seems like it's very scripted.
For both women.
Yes. Well, the bit of information we got out about it was that there's going to be a match next week for the Raw Women's Tag Team Championship. It's Alexa's rematch versus Sasha.
And that sounds familiar. It's close. This should a year ago, this was Sasha's rematch.
Yes.
But now we're different.
Sasha would win it
on Raw.
On Raw.
Yeah, now Sasha wins on pay-per-views.
No, pay-per-view, yeah.
So she's going to have a pay-per-view streak. And you see, Bayley's going to beat her at Fastlane before WrestleMania. By cheating. And it's going to end. Sasha's now in Charlotte's shoes. Alexa's in Sasha's shoes. Well, Alexa's micro Charlotte because she's the one that got traded for Charlotte. Well, so did Mickey. But Alexa's the one in Charlotte's spot, literally. Micro Charlotte is because I feel the feud's going to end the same way.
Yeah, I think you sort of took it farther than I did when I said they essentially traded Charlotte for Charlotte with blonde hair and all, except 10 inches shorter.
And no offense to Alexa, less Ray and Billy.
Yes.
Better promo skills, though.
Apparently those 10 inches include talent.
Right.
Well, in-ring talent.
Yeah, promo Alexa and Charlotte.
No offense, Alexa. I love you. Everyone on Twitter knows it. This guy knows it very well.
We still his beating heart.
However, you're not as talented in the ring as Charlotte is.
It was past
there's not many women
that
are, actually.
No. Asuka.
Yeah.
Ember.
Becky.
Sasha. But not that they're better, just you said
they're on the Charlotte level.
And Natalia.
Yes.
And Mickey and Emma. That's about it. Right, so. But Asuka's the best one of them all.
Yes.
The past said this was pretty much fairly by the numbers.
Yeah.
The only thing substance
it's
was...
Hey, I have this belt. Hey, you have my belt. Let's fight for it next week.
At first, I thought they were going to go a different route because Sasha was talking about she was going to be the kind of champion fight, so I thought we were going to get women's championship at open challenges until I realized two of the women already wrestled.
Two of the women already wrestled.
Alexa wasn't going to wrestle. Nobody wants to see Dana or Alicia in the ring at all.
And,
so all that stuff was Mickey.
I
wouldn't mind Mickey versus Sasha, but it wasn't going to...
That would have been fantastic.
But it wouldn't have lasted long after the Hardys and S.H.I.E.L.D.
No.
So... I should have seen that coming, but I thought they were on a different route. But
but nope, it's to set up a match next week.
I'll give Alexa.
This is literally history repeating itself. This is deja vu.
I'll give Alexa credit though for noting that Sasha's never successfully defended any of her titles.
Yes,
that was a nice touch and did create doubt that there can be a new champ next week.
Yes,
and I'm not really sure if it's doubt.
Yeah, that would be a positive of that.
Yeah, I think about the only one,
but
It's a struggling positive.
It was a promo.
Yeah. By the way, the fans were burnt out after Dita set for Star Boys.
Yeah. I think in the beginning they were burned out
From the Cena room and
I think they were burned out because there wasn't like a strong reaction for when the Hardys said they wanted to fight the Shield. There wasn't any like yes chants that were going on.
And the match itself in the beginning I found a little awkward for me because Jeff was working as a heel.
Yeah.
Matt not so much. That didn't bother me, but Jeff working as a heel. Then when they switched up and Jeff went to face Harold and the Shield were more the heels.
Yes.
Doing the double team, and that made a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the match went up. Then they had that segment. Then they had this match: Finn Balor versus Jason Jordan. Talk about
this was another one with beach balls.
Talk about a thing that felt like a thing happened.
Yeah. There was a very long time where Finn just held him in a headlock.
Right.
I'm not sure why the match was structured that way. So, it pretty much gave the fans no reason to react or respond. And when you put it in front of the bizarro world crowd, as the really likes to say, idle hands are the devil's playthings. So there were beach balls galore. There were plenty of chants of Headlock City from the section next to us.
Yeah. It's clear that WWE's trying to build credibility, I guess, and legitimacy for Jason through a competitive match. I guess some I respect it, like in Finn, but too much damage has already been done with the illegitimate system.
If fans are doing different things in the arena, then I don't think anyone's actually really paying attention to that match.
He's the butt of a joke.
Yeah.
He was booed from the get-go because of the poor execution and lack of believability from the storyline. And now they're taking... It feels like... I meant to say this earlier, it feels like they're taking the Chad Gable approach on SmackDown. Which is working for Gable. By having him hang with the best, the brand's old for only... But this one, in this case, feels like it's just rooted in desperation.
Yes.
To stop it from being a complete failure.
Literally, I think it should be that he keeps on losing, and he's being such a good guy that the crowd's not cheering for him, that he becomes overly babyface to where it becomes almost heelish.
Yeah.
Where he becomes essentially thinks he's better than you and that his life choices are better than you.
Mm-hmm.
If this sounds familiar, it sounds like Kurt Angle.
Right. Who, by the way, for those who don't know, Kurt Angle was not his real father.
No.
Just want to let them know.
No. Kurt Angle may have had sex with a black girl in college. I don't know his history that well enough. I know it pretty well from what his documentaries say, but
not that.
Not to that extent.
But congratulations on the birth of your son, Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
I guess he looked good here, and if there was an actual, maybe on TV, it was as shocking. So I'll just try to compliment. But Crave has a long, long way to go before he's accepted by the fans in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
He got new music and a new graphic. I had no idea what the hell it was.
They both look pretty generic, actually.
Yeah, he got a job arrangement. So.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't say it all.
I mean, Cass's music is very generic, but at least I remember Cass's because part of it actually sounds like Cult of Personality.
Yeah, generic Cult of Personality. Yeah. Or Big Ass.
Yeah.
Or Cass's head.
Yeah, and Big Ass, yes.
Right.
Jordan's, it was something to have.
Green and gold.
Yeah.
I don't know what actually.
Green and gold.
That was his attire the night before at SummerSlam. Yeah. But he didn't get entrance to SummerSlam. The Hardys.
Yeah.
He came out then. And then the main event, which was also Beach Bowl City. Roman Reigns and John Cena versus the Miz and Joe.
I thought the match was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I did like the promo before.
For the promo.
Where Miz was sort of going over the match with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe was pretty much tuning him out. Miz had Miztourage with him, and he kept on going over what they should do. And then Joe pretty much took charge and pretty much told them what was going to happen.
Right.
And it made him look like a very strong and intimidating person. So I thought that was actually top notch.
Yeah, Cena and Roman, even with this match and the ending, with the stare down, they were clearly having a showdown, even if it doesn't occur soon.
Mm-hmm.
They're clearly going there. There's tension that exists between them, and some real life heat, I think, on Twitter anyway, between the two. Taking shots going on.
Yeah.
So the tension that exists between them is obvious, and for me anyway, the desire to see them in a high profile match is at an all-time high, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I
think it'll be a very good match.
It's a big money match, whether it happens at WrestleMania where it should happen, or No Mercy if it does happen. There. It has the potential to... There's been a lot of very good matches this year on the main roster. But if it happens at No Mercy, which I don't think it is, but it has the potential to be that... on the main roster, I feel like there's only been like 2 match a year contenders, you can really say. AJ or Cena from the Rumble and the Fatal 4-Way from SummerSlam.
Yeah.
You could probably throw in the ambulance match with Roman and Braun and the Brock and Joe too.
Yeah.
And what was that match? AJ and Shane at WrestleMania too. You could probably throw them in. But there's not like a match a year contender every pay-per-view like it normally is anymore. But that could definitely be a match of year contender for 2017. They do it in No Mercy.
Yeah.
Though I will say, I did have some negatives of the match. I do feel like there's a better way to get there though than by sacrificing Miz and Joe for the sake of pulling them over.
Yeah.
More so Miz because he's the one who took in. Because Miz is a phenomenal heel, but then Trey repeatedly reminding the fans that he's a step below the main event is. I think I might have undercut him at this point.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why I don't, but a lot of people consider the title run a failure. And once again, that's a major problem with management, not him.
Yeah.
And Joe, on the other hand, I want to say he's being used horribly, but I'm not sure I use it. There's not any disagreement here. I feel like he's cooled down a lot since Great Balls of Fire now.
He has cooled down. I'm not sure if I would say it was a lot though.
Okay. Because he didn't feel like all that important in the build up to the Fatal 4-Way either.
The last week I would say he didn't feel all
Especially,
that important.
Yeah. Neither Roman nor Fair that night.
The point he kept on bringing up was that he was pretty close to beating Brock Lesnar, and that Roman has actually never beat.
This is why I will have Roman and Cena lose here now. Because Roman hit Cena accidentally